Hello, everyone, and it's nice seeing you all again. Just a quick technical note: if you cannot see us, please click on View in the right-hand corner of your screen, and then click on Standard View. Otherwise, if you can see us, no problem. Then we're all good to go. So this is a very, very interesting segment that we are going to listen to now, where we are going to look at the school concepts of the 21st century and how it builds stronger communities. With me today is Dustin Coraize, and he worked collaboratively with Danell Müller from Stellenbosch University from the music department at the university. But he will tell you more about how they work together and the field of study. I just want to introduce Dustin quickly to all of you. Dustin is a colleague of mine. He's a subject advisor in the Western Cape Education Department, but he's also a pedagogical advisor to the Paternoster project in BC. So he works not only in government, but also elsewhere where he shares his many, many talents. So without further ado, wonderful to have you here, Dustin, and we cannot wait to listen to you when you speak about the school concept, something that many of us have to do at our schools, but you will see the approach to how he and Danell have on the school concept is really mind-blowing, very interesting, and it will make you think. Enjoy the presentation.
Carla, told him to click on View, Standard View if they can't see you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just technical. If you can't see Dustin at the moment, at the top of your screen, if you click on the View tab, click it View, and then click Standard View. And if you do that, it will show both Dustin and his presentation on the slide. Dustin, we are looking forward to this. Over to you.
Thanks, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Workshop 6. In this session, we will reflect on our experiences with school concerts. We hope to provide some idea that will restore and recharge your interest in school concerts. In many cases, you are already experts in maybe something we say will just affirm what you already know and what you will have to do. Maybe you have the feeling of, yes, I'm on the right track. So for those with less experience or who always wanted to do a concert but don't know exactly where to start, perhaps something we say might encourage you to take the next step to stage a great concert in 2023. We will touch on the 21st skills and how the concert might build stronger bonds. And we want to reimagine what concerts can do in your context. We hope to inspire you to create your own production to schools, at schools, or simply to see the value the school concerts can bring. So let us take a moment to reflect. You can jot a few things down while I speak, but I will also give you a moment after each question or statement to gather your thoughts. So in your context, describe your concert experience at school. Or if you don't have a concert, why it might not be happening. Consider what usually happens, when and where does the rehearsal and even events take place. Who are involved and what are the roles? So I will give you a few minutes just to ponder around these questions, and then we will proceed. So the school concert can take on different formats. For example, a full-scale musical, a revue, a sing-song event, a dance show, a drama, or a talent show. It features on most schools' calendars, but not all. It might be an annual event or be done in cycles of 2 or 3 years. For the final event, some schools have large budgets and rent venues like the Baxter Theatre. Others opt for the school or the town hall. Rehearsals happens in school halls or school classrooms during school hours or after school hours. But in some cases, only a selected few learners take part. But in some other schools, all the learners are encouraged or even required to be part of the event. So as for colleagues, sometimes there's a great team working together, each with a specific role to play, but sometimes it is the sole responsibility of the creative arts teacher. Our next reflection question: how do you feel about stagging the school concert? Or what do you think leading up to the event, during the event, or after the event? So yeah, I will give you another few minutes just to jot down some of your thoughts. Righto. So we've seen that teachers have a range of emotions when it comes to the concert. Some are excited and can't wait to rehearse, or they enjoy to be involved with the arts. Maybe setting up of the decor, make costumes, dance, find great music. They are thrilled to produce opportunities for learners and proud of the learners' accomplishments on stage. But others lack enthusiasm, dread the process, fear the amount of work, or just feel frustrated because it's taking time away from academics or sports and they don't see the value that a concert may bring. Maybe it is a combination of these emotions and for different reasons. So we all have different things that we find easy or different when preparing for staging a concert. Each school or teacher will always have different challenges and opportunities. So it is important to understand what these are, as they will influence your actions. Hours are spending on planning the event, rehearsals, and making of costumes and decor for the highlight in many learners' lives. It might be difficult to find things to do a concert with. So many schools are in fortunate positions to have large budgets to pay the copyright of existing scripts. And this is an important part, the copyright, to hire costumes perhaps, or decor sets, or to appoint choreographers, providing teachers with wonderful opportunities and many choices to make. Many schools do not have a large budget or no budget at all. This can be a major challenge and will certainly influence motivation to undertake the endeavors. Other challenges or opportunities are, for example, the skill level of the teacher, the buy-in from management, parent support, and the enthusiasm of learners. So we acknowledge and the above mentioned differences and understand it has major implications for staging a school concert. We definitely did not reflect everyone's lived experiences in this session, but maybe you can map yourself somewhere between these scenarios. So both Danell and I have been involved in school concerts before we met at Rittenbos Primary School. This is a primary school located in Cluttersville in Stellenbosch, but we do not have drama, dance, or theater training. Danell is a music education specialist, and her interest in concert stems from the integration of the arts. I, on the other hand, come from a maths and science background with an unwavering love for the arts through language. I'm currently the senior education specialist for languages, where I'm able to share my knowledge and experience by using thematic words to construct magic sentences. And voila, text for concerts on the side in local rural communities. In this reflective cycle, we want to share snapshots from our concerts experiences at Rittenbos Primary School. Danell started working at the school in 2013 as part of a social impact project, while I joined the school first through Marty's community outreach as an education student, and after completing my undergrad as a professional teacher. The project focuses on music teaching. This includes individual, group instrumental lessons and class music, but also in-service training of music education students of Stellenbosch University. I've been exposed to teaching and learning throughout my whole life, up until I found myself formally teaching languages and sciences in the intermediate and senior phase at Rittenbos Primary between 2016 and 2022. We will answer the descriptive questions now and then go into more detail about the process, but also provide some reason for the choices we make. So Ritenbo's annual school concert journey started in 2014. The concerts are mostly revues, but we've also explored other formats. For example, as I will elaborate later on, a musical and singing with a live band. Our startup budget is normally around R0, and all costs that do arise are paid with the ticket sales. We therefore don't rent a venue for the final event, but use the school hall. Rehearsals take place in the school hall itself, in the classrooms, in the media center, on the netball courts, in the parking lot, or any open space where learners can easily move around. It is not always comfortable to rehearse outside, but the academic program at the school must take priority in when we practice in the school hall. It sometimes gets loud and affects the learners who works. For example, those learners that are writing tests. Other times we have to rehearse outside because functions are held in the hall. We do make sure though that all groups get enough time to stage on stage so that they become familiar with the stage setup. Don't let the lack of rehearsal space demotivate you. A lot can be done in small spaces or outside on the school ground. So all learners are encouraged to take part in the school concert, and everybody is included in the rehearsals. Ritenbos is a large stage, and with careful planning and attention to placement, we can accommodate a whole year group on the stage at a time. The results is anything between 90 to 130 learners. For some productions, we do have an audition process for characters. We will describe the audition process when we discuss the drama aspect of the concert later on. So as for colleagues, since 2014, a lot has changed. In the beginning, to get started, Danell did most of the planning on her own. Music, this includes music, choreography, planning, costumes, making of decor. But as colleagues and the management, as well as the parents, got to know the processes and saw the value of the concert, more people became actively involved and helped carrying the load. You can teach people how to be involved, and you as the creative arts teacher can then facilitate the process. So as part of the descriptive question, we would like to share some aspects we keep in mind in the process of planning and writing the concert. Maybe this is a tip or two that you can use. So first, we refer to the concert as an education concert. It is important for us to really understand our target groups and the context we work in. So this includes, for example, the lived experiences of learners, parents, and the greater social grouping. It also impacts the logistics of the concert, which in turn influence our actions and choices. Then also understanding our target group also means we work with very tight budgetary constraints. Thirdly, we build the concert around a theme. And then lastly, the integration of the art forms that are taught in life skills, for instance, drama, dance, music, and visual arts are key to our productions. Why we refer to concerts as educational? For us, the concert is more than just having fun or creating a performance opportunity. Of course, that is very important, but the concert can be more than that. It can address most of the 21st century skills in all three categories. This includes learning skills, literacy skills, and life skills. So let's look at learning skills first. So it is easy to see how the school concert addresses the mental processes required to adapt and improve in the 21st century, also known as the 4 C's. And I think most of you are aware of this. It's critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication is infused throughout the processes. For example, involving Bloom's higher order thinking skills when analyzing and discussing lyrics and the scripts of the concerts. Also allowing learners to create their own compositions to be performed on stage. For example, writing a rap for a scene in the concert, and then also encouraging learners to choreograph certain dances or create a space where learners improvise movement. We can also look at providing opportunities for learners to add their own voice to the script, teaching learners about ways the arts can communicate with the audience. And then lastly, also communication and collaboration between learners, teachers, parents, management, and the broader community are key. And of course, there are more opportunities that develop learning skills. So now we have literacy skills. We might not directly address literacy skills in the strictest sense of the word, but as literacy skills deals with, amongst other things, the determining of trustworthy sources and factual information and how to separate it from the misinformation that floods the internet. The concept attempts to broaden learners' horizon. We try to expose them to music or stories or ideas that are not necessarily in the frame of the reference now. We hope to make learners aware of what is going on in the world around them and not just in the area where they live and what they are used to. Through thoughtful learning simply explains that life skills, this is equip learners to thrive in the classroom and in the world beyond. The 21st century life skills are flexible, initiative, social skills, productivity, and leadership, as you can see on your screen. The concert is a wonderful opportunity to teach life skills. So learners have to adapt to different situations. For example, rehearsal spaces and schedules. If something on stage doesn't exactly follows what was rehearsed and quick changes needs to be made. Compromise when there is not 100% agreement, but a solution must be found quickly. So essentially, especially older learners develop learnership skills when they, as main characters, are paired up with younger learners. We've seen how younger learners look at them and how interactions even changes the playground. We don't have a lot of time to rehearse and learners must really focus during each rehearsal. Productivity is therefore key. They also know that they must find time on their own to go through movement or scripts, utilizing the time as best as possible. It is the development of these 21st century skills that convince us to encourage all learners to be part of the concert. Even if we have 130 learners on stage at a time, we could let each class, approximately 30 to 35 learners at a time, sing or dance on one song with about 2 to 3 minutes stage time. But that doesn't really create a stimulate enough. That doesn't create or stimulate enough learning opportunities. We rather opt for about 10 to 12 minutes instead on stage with various repertoires. This is possible with smart placement of learners on stage. So understanding our target groups. This is quite logical. Keep in mind who your learners and your audience are. Pay attention to their reality, their lived experiences, but also make sure you broaden their frame of reference. Use budgets. This depends on being it large or limited wisely. Decide what will best convey the message for your concert. So if you have no budget, don't get discouraged. There are several options to explore. For example, make use of recyclable material. This is a fantastic opportunity to stimulate and develop the creativity of learners and even parents. Don't be shy to ask for sponsors. Contact more advanced schools and find out if you can borrow or take over the costumes or the decor from their previous concerts. Be creative and reach out to other creative arts support teachers. We center the concert around a theme. So the theme of the stories for the concert developed in direct relation to what is relevant at the movement of schools, at schools. So this is the concert or in the community or in the society. This is determined in collaboration with different role players We will give a short overview of the concepts we've staged at Rittenbush Primary School. So the first two themes were determined by the creative arts teacher. In 2014, we did Vier Seisoene, and that is in Afrikaans, so in English it's 4 seasons, and that was a review. The teacher was very excited to have a fellow musician on board and asked Danell to use 4 seasons from Antonio Vivaldi as theme, doing a classical music concert with about 1,000 learners who know little about Baroque music. Would not be feasible in our context. Instead, a concert was built on what is happening during the 4 seasons in the Western Cape context. Music was featured, for example, Sonbrilletjies, Summer Holiday, Autumn Leaves, Harvest Samba, Have You Ever Seen the Rain, Umbrella, Fireflies, Cherry Pink, and Apple Blossom White. Unfortunately, we had only 2 months to prepare for the concert, and learners therefore sang and danced with backtracks. In 2015, we did Diere Maniere in Afrikaans. In English, it's Animal Ways. So this was a singing with the live band. So here, the creative arts teacher gave Danell a set of choir pieces, the animal concert, and asked her to build a concert around the themes. Each of the 9 grades was assigned an animal or a category of animals. For example, pets, where the learners would be cats, farm animals, horses, in the swamp, where the learners will be frogs, bugs and creepy things, where we will speak about bees, things with feathers, which is birds, and then also the fish and chips under the sea. We've decided to let learners sing themselves this time. The original plan was just to use a piano, but it didn't create a vibey enough feel for a concert with 1,000 learners. Danell asked for volunteers at Stellenbosch University's music department to join and assemble. In the end, 30 music students joined the band. We had some basic arrangement, but the music was mostly improvised. In 2016, we did Feetjieland, and Feetjieland is in Afrikaans. In English, it's Fairyland, and this was a musical. So 3 fourth-year students approached Danell and asked if they could be involved in the concert. In conclusion, in consultation with the creative arts teacher, we've created a story with the subtext of the forced removal of Die Vlakte in Stellenbosch. It was about the imbalance apartheid brought in South Africa. So this is the silence of the people, a broken society in trying to pick up broken pieces and finding a way forward. Of course, this is a primary school concert and learners were not aware of the difficult subtext, but it was discussed with management, the teachers, and the in-service training students. So just a side note, when we release our planned concert book series in a few years from now, you will be able to read more about what happened in Fairyland and how we've approached it for learners and why. So in 2017, we did Kikkies, and Kikkies in Afrikaans, in English, it means photos or snapshots, and this was a review. It is not always easy to get the buy-in of all staff members to assist with support, or support the concert. That makes rehearsal and basic logistics very difficult. In fact, sometimes it almost feels impossible. So with Kikkies or photos of snapshot, we wanted to involve all teachers from the beginning of the process, hoping it will create support throughout. It worked. We've asked teachers to bring some of their favorite photos from their personal photo albums. With their photos in mind, we were able to build a story on memories, different phases in our lives, when we were born, our extended family, growing up, our first love, our first car, our first paycheck, perhaps traveling, attending events that made history. For example, the winning of the World Cup in South Africa in 1995, getting married, and life continues. We've taken a picture of each child and displayed these pictures on the night of the concert with a projector The visuals accompanied the singing and dancing. The music and dances to each grade were inspired by the memories from the photographs. So hier staan ek, lekker haasbek, oop en smile in die helderste lemmikergroen truitjie wat ouma vir die winter gebrei het. Oumas en oupas is sulke lekker kosbare mense en so wys. Hulle ken die 3 varkies, goue lokkies en die se beere, maar beter nog, die tandemuis en ook vir Kersvader onder die hele lot. Hoe kyk ek nou met 'n dankbare hart terwyl terug na al hierdie kiekies? Dankie liewe ouma en liewe oupa. So this is in Afrikaans what was on the screen just now. So in 2018, we've done 100 years. And this in English is 100 a centenary of music. And coincidentally, this was also part of the Stellenbosch University centenary celebrations. So year groups were assigned a decade, and all teachers were invited to bring their favorite music for each decade. The concert was built around their choices, and again, the collaboration created support throughout. In 2019, we did Roy se Rommel Trommel. With the retirement of the headmaster, the concert was dedicated to him. The concert focused on playing a serious business, fun, creativity, and imagination. We wanted to show learners how you can make something out of nothing. We've also incorporated life lessons into the script. It's centered on a motivational theory that states that if human basic psychological needs is supported, of which these needs are relatedness, competence, and autonomy, it will foster motivation, task engagement, and volition, which will result in well-being, better performance, and creativity. Then COVID intervened a bit, and that was in 2020 and 2021. But now after COVID, we wanted our audience to escape to an imaginative world where fruits and vegetables have great stories to tell. And that is in 2022. So this is what we're doing this year. In Afrikaans, it is dis meer as vrugtesla en groentesop. In English, it's more than fruit salad and vegetable soup. So this is a review. We ventured underground with the couch potato, visit Corny from Kellogg's Cornflakes, and Tiger Oats in the Swartland. We rock in Afrikaans with broccoli. We do this cherry cha-cha-cha and the tango with the mango. And any other Corny stories you would hear through the grapevine featured. So teachers voiced that after COVID, they really struggled with learners' discipline. They feel that many learners don't listen and some are really disrespectful, almost as if COVID negatively influenced their character's development. So for this reason, the pillar of characters, which is trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship, and worked into the script in a playful and humoristic manner, but the message conveyed were clear. We are careful not to start preaching at the concerts, but valuable lessons can be communicated to the audience, maybe not always directly, but hopefully subconsciously. Choose your theme carefully so that the message comes across clearly, but don't forget that it still needs to captivate your audience and develop learners' 21st century skills. The concert is an excellent opportunity to integrate the 4 art forms that are taught in life skills in the South African curriculum. Some teachers at Rittenbos even used rehearsals to assess learners' development. If you cannot afford to buy existing scripts, write your own. Ask colleagues to assist. You can also let learners write sketches. We often use many characters because, firstly, we work with 900 to 1,000 learners, and many learners want to play a part in the concert. But secondly, we found that it is very stressful and difficult for learners to remember too many words. Short dialogues makes it easy for the learners to learn. Just be careful that it doesn't become too fragmented. We have a very simple audition process which includes the following. Tell more about yourself. So this will happen in 30 seconds. This forces a learner to say more than their name, and from that, one can infer quite a lot about the learner. Prepare and perform one of the scenes from the concert. So here we provide excerpts from the concert about 2 weeks before the audition to allow them time to prepare. Sing a song of your choice. They often don't know what to sing. So to be ready with suggestions, we provide certain themes to them. Dance to a specific song. So here we choose this beforehand to allow learners time to prepare. Some roles require you to just act, others to sing or to dance, or even being an all-rounder. Unfortunately, we can't always let learners audition for a specific role, as learners usually only want to audition for known personas. For example, Cinderella, Mr. Bean, or the Minions. But if a specific skill is required, a learner can audition for that specific role. So this year, for example, we needed learners to split for the role of the splitting pea princess. And only interested and capable learners auditioned for the role. So don't underestimate the value of the audition process. Take a moment to talk to the learners about why they are coming to audition. Some of the reasons the learners gave this year were, I'm very shy and believe that this is an opportunity to develop my self-esteem. My mother passed on during COVID-19, and I think she would have been very proud of me being part of the concert. I want to act in a soap opera, and this is the starting point for me. I really like dancing, teacher. So making sound music choices are very important. Give colleagues insight into music choices, but still exercise quality control. Avoid crude language, lyrics, and sexual undertones, and political messages if they are not appropriate. People are not always aware of what the lyrics of a song are about. Research the song so you know what the context of the song is. We spend hours to analyze lyrics to determine the appropriateness. We also try to explore learners to expose learners to different musical styles and genres. The music is usually chosen to match the script, but sometimes we build the script around the music we want to use. It is an organic, dynamic process and often grows in tandem. If you use recorded music, use good quality recordings and decide in advance whether you will use the entire track or not. And in our concerts, we usually take the first section of the music and not the whole track. Or we will improvise on the music. So even if you use recorded music, the learners still sing along. The best, of course, is to use a live band and let learners sing themselves. But unfortunately, it is not always possible due to the budget constraints. So if you can make use of volunteers or music learners, consider this as a first option. Dance and movement must certainly be used in the concert. Even when singing the simplest song, movement must be added. If you're uncomfortable working out moves and your budget allows, hire a choreographer. If not, find out which colleagues, learners, or members from the community are willing to help you with this. There are also thousands of videos available on YouTube that can help you with ideas. Make sure the movements are not sexual in nature, is appropriate for the age group, and focuses on the development of gross and fine motor skills. Be sure to include all the elements of dance. Visual aspects includes costumes, decor, and props, as you see on the screen. For decor, the props, we work mainly with recyclable material. We cut costs to the absolute bare minimum and invite learners, students, in-service training teachers, parents, members of the community, and any other volunteers to assist with the making of materials. Parents usually help with the collecting of material we will need. Costumes. We try to get away from clothes that students already have or the learners already have. But we also have a few boxes full of dress-up items sponsored by university students or parents. If really needed, we ask parents to pay a very small amount to buy required items in bulk. For example, tutus or Alice bands. Some items are made by groups or students. This year, for example, the grade 6 girls are making their own hula skirts from plastic bags. Think out of the box and not too literal. Use your imagination and be creative. So this brings us back to the last two questions of the reflective cycle. What do you feel or think during the process and the event itself? But also what is easy and difficult or challenging, and which opportunities do we have? We feel proud. Together we overcame challenges. Our learners don't actually have the funds to be part of a big or huge production, but through creativity, collaboration, and communication, we annually stage concerts successfully. We are not experts. We don't have formal training to set up these productions, and our learners don't receive training from specialists, but we all invest in the process, stay focused, give our best, and sign on stage. We feel an overwhelming sense of responsibility. A range of questions fill our minds. For instance, how do we keep on developing our learners optimally? How do we make sure we address all three categories of the 21st century skills? How do we stay connected to the community? Very important. What is the best way to keep on cultivating relationships between role players? How do we make sure we foster lifelong learning? We think our major challenges are finding time to set up a good production, and then, and this may be for a lot of the teachers, budgetary constraints. So these opportunities we have is fostering working with like-minded creative teachers, people who are willing to walk the extra mile, who understands the value the concepts can bring to learners. Also, parents that understand the process. Staging concerts since 2014, most parents saw their learners performing on stage from pre-grade R up to their final year of primary school, which is grade 7, and normally the highlight of the evening. Having to buy in from management, because not only do they see the relationship that are fostered between different role players or the development in learners, the school receives a considerable financial boost. Developing stronger bonds between teachers, learners, management, and parents through the concept by addressing 21st century skills can be extended to the greater community. We believe this one event, a school concert, can make a positive contribution to a community's well-being by bringing different role players together. So, through this, we need to make sure that we reimagine what concerts can do in your context. Create your own productions at school and investigate and do more research on the value the school concerts can bring. So, to conclude, In the words of Felicia Rasdat, before a child talks, they sing. Before they write, they draw. As soon as they stand, they dance. And she adds on some more by stating, art is fundamental to human expression. So I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you.
Thank you so much. That was a mouthful, but that was extremely interesting. Ladies and gentlemen,
It was a race.
It was a race, but what a fantastic presentation. So comprehensive with such a lot of ideas. And I think one of the things that I take away is that, you're not alone when you present this. There are so many other teachers that we can see in the chat that goes through the same. So we have reached the end of our program today, ladies and gentlemen. And you are most welcome to pose questions to Danell and Dustin in the Q&A section, and he will definitely come back to you. He is a subject advisor in our Cape Winelands district, so he is available 24/7 for any questions that you might have. And then we wish, just on a personal note, Danell well. She's the co-author of this presentation, and she's really a powerhouse as far as music education is concerned. She's having her baby, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, but all the best to Danell. And your school concerts are your babies, but you also have others to look at today. So thank you very much.
And also within the near future, we will have maybe a new choir member. I told Danell earlier that she's actually now in the hospital huffing and puffing like the wolf.
Breathing exercises.
Yes.
What was that, Dustin? Thank you very much.
It was a
It
pleasure.
was extremely valuable. All of this will be available, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to look at that later on. And we wish you all the best, and we will see you tomorrow at the Creative Arts Conference 2020. We cannot wait to see you. Just want to ask, what time do we start?
9.
We start 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, and be here, have your cup of coffee ready, and we can